Yes, hello guys. I'll be talking about the student result prediction project. I'll continue from where I stopped. Today's slides, we're going to talk about the description of the problem once again, the environment which the problem is going to be in, and the agents which the problem is going to use. The project, that is, the description of the dataset for the project, the application of the uninformed search and the informed search in the project, and the AI accountability and its application in the project. So, like I said before, the description of this problem is towards academic life of students in the university. People have a high level of freedom and a low level of guidance from the elders, from the experienced people. Because of such a thing, people can get lost in the academic path, in the academic lives. Because of such a thing, they have low marks, they graduate with poor grades, and at the end of the day, there's a higher level of unemployment and a slow pace of the development of our community. So my project, what it does is predicts the students' results according to certain attributes that they have, and lets them know whether they are going through the right path or not, or they are not going through the right path, so that one can adjust accordingly. So the environment in which this project will be, the environment, first of all, the environment is whatever surrounds an agent, but is not part of the agent itself. An agent refers to anything that perceives information from its surrounding and will respond to that information. Talk about that later. The environment will be fully observable because the agent has access to all the required information to complete the target task. The environment in which the project will be is a single agent environment because we will only be using the software agent. I'll talk about the software agent also later. We will not be using multiple agents. The environment in which the project will be is static because, well, the records that are used in the project are actually in the past, so they cannot be changed. Otherwise, it would have been a dynamic environment. The environment in which the project is sequential. Sequential because whatever occurs at a certain time t was dependent or is dependent from what occurred before it. Otherwise, it would have been an episodic environment. It is continuous because the results and the records which we use are continuous. Someone's tests are continuous. Someone's test results are continuous because people continue having tests as long as they are studying. The environment is stochastic because you cannot determine fully uh, what is to occur in an environment. Stochastic because, yes, someone can have certain attributes, but someone's final results or someone's results might not actually match what the attributes would be used for. They might not match. If someone had bad grades in the past, you would expect someone to have also bad grades in the final exam, but at the end of the day, they might have good grades. So it's really unpredictable, especially when you're dealing with humans. So more on the AI environment, we're talking about agents. Like I said before, an agent is one that perceives its surroundings with the use of sensors and responds to them with the use of actuators. Sensors detect change in the environment, while the actuators are responsible for the agent's reaction towards the detected changes. An agent typically runs in the cycle of perceiving, thinking, and acting. There are human agents, robotic agents, and so on. So for this project, we'll be using the software agent, as I said before, and this software agent uses keystrokes and file content as sensory input and acts on those inputs to display output on the screen. So a description of the dataset that I'm going to be using for my project. The dataset is got from the UCI machine learning repository. It is called Student Performance Dataset. The dataset comprises of 33 attributes of 649 instances from two Portuguese students. So the attributes of this student, so attributes of the students are the students' grades, and they're about the students' grades, the demographic, social, and school-related features, and it was collected using school reports and questionnaires. So the dataset is regarding the performance of the mathematics subjects. Originally, the dataset actually had two divisions for the mathematics subject and the Portuguese subject, but they actually all use the same attributes. So they're quite similar. So I decided to use the mathematics subject. So the target attribute is the final exam, as mentioned before, and it greatly relies on the previous grades of any instance of a student. So the application of the uninformed search in my project. Uninformed search is a class of general purpose search algorithms which are used in cases where there is no additional information about the state space and they can only be used to traverse the tree. I mean the decision tree. The decision tree has nodes, or you can call them states, which are at different levels. And so you can use uninformed search to traverse through the tree in order to find the goal state. The goal state is what is looked for. It's the target in the first. It's the target that's looked for in the first place. So there are a number of algorithms under the uninformed search. For example, the depth first search, the breadth first search, the bidirectional first search. The bidirectional search, and so on. So I would utilize the iterative depending depth first search to traverse through the levels of the tree and find the goal state because it has the benefits of the breadth first search and the depth first search. The breadth first search, what it does is it operates in a breadth-wise way, in a way that it traverses towards a successive node from its previous node and traverses all of the nodes on that level until it finds the goal state. And the depth first search moves in a way that it traverses from a certain node and continues until it reaches the deepest path. So both of them have benefits and disadvantages. So the breadth first search has a benefit of finding the solution faster. In other words, the goal state faster, while the depth first search has a benefit of space efficiency, memory efficiency, because then it takes so much space. So the application of the informed search, the informed search algorithms are used where knowledge is availed to the agents, thus the goal state will be found more efficiently. It is also called the heuristic function, or also the uninformed search is also called the blind search because information isn't available to the system. In this case, informed search, they are informed of the information. So the informed search has a number of algorithms, such as the best first search algorithm and the A-star algorithm. For this problem, I would recommend use the A-star algorithm because it considers the costs from the start state and the cost to reach the goal node. Therefore, I find it the most optimal. I believe the more optimal a certain search algorithm is, the higher the chance of it being complete. So in this case, the goal node would be the final exam mark based on the attributes considered in the decision tree, such as the study time, previous test scores, and number of classes that have been attended. Yeah, so the accountability in my AI project. So accountability refers to the expectation that organizations or individuals will ensure proper functioning of their artificial intelligence systems in terms of decision making and performance traits. I would base this on the framework by the US government, which talks about accountability of artificial intelligence. It talks about the data that is to be used, the performance, the governance, and the monitoring of the system. So I would use those 4 concepts in my project in order to consider accountability and evaluate the accountability of my system. I would look at the data that I'm using. I would measure its reliability in terms of the source where it has been achieved from. The performance of the system should also be evaluated in terms of the outcomes of the system, whether they are improving, whether they are consistent with the goal, which was at first improving the academic lives of the students in the universities. And I would also look at the governance of the project in terms of the implementation of the project should be managed to ensure that it follows the society ethics. Accountability, to summarize it briefly, it mainly bases on the ethics and the morals of a society. That's one thing to consider. It's one of the main things to consider when you look at accountability of a certain project. And I also look at monitoring the project itself. The performance and the operation of the project must be regularly checked over time to ensure sustainability and relevance. Yes, so that is my project. Thank you. In summary, accountability, yes, it's mainly about checking whether it is following the ethics of a certain society in which the project is. Thank you.